Before we get started here today, I need to tell you about True Classic, because as the weather warms up here in southern Ontario, I immediately start thinking about golf season. And golf season for me means going from work to the driving range. I like to go to the driving range after work, but that also means I need an outfit that I can use at work and then immediately go to the driving range. And that's where True Classic comes in, because their t-shirts are the best thing in the world for that. They're athleisure t-shirts. They're perfect for work. And then you also can wear them on the driving range where you're going to be swinging and sweating a lot. I know I sweat a lot. And the material on there is perfect, even though you haven't fixed your 80-yard hook and you've taken 100 swings. So for me, I can't recommend True Classic enough if you're looking for that athleisure wear that you need to wear at work, and then when you're doing something active later on. They also got jeans and hoodies and a whole bunch of other stuff that you can use to fill out your wardrobe if you head to trueclassic.com/dangle. So whether you're bundling up for the cold or you're getting ready for spring and the golf course, level up your style with True Classic. Shop now, elevate your wardrobe today. That's trueclassic.com/dangle.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
I feel like I've had this conversation a million times, and I will continue to have this conversation until the NHL decides to change their rules. Once again tonight, we had a controversial offsides review. This time it involved the Habs and the Islanders. Nick Suzuki, around 15:56 of the second period, scored a goal which looked like it put the Habs up 2-1 in the second period. But after refs took a look at things, Situation Room back in Toronto took a look at things after the Islanders eventually challenged it, they determined that by millimeters, pixels on the screen, that Nick Suzuki was offside when he entered the zone. And I hate this stuff because of a number of reasons that we must discuss right now. Let's start with the idea of taking 5 minutes, which was around the amount of time it took to review this because of how close it was to being onside or offside. Taking that amount of time to determine whether something is conclusively one way or the other, to me, in my mind, means that it is not conclusive. I think the first thing you should do with offside review challenges is limit the time you have to review it. And that leads into my next thing, where if you can't determine it with the naked eye on a single replay or two, then it should not be taken back. I don't think the idea of hockey is to determine whether something was onside or offside with the pixels of a camera. If we had the technology in the pucks, which we kind of do, they do have puck tracking and it's tracked through cameras in the arena. They don't have the technology on the goal line to determine whether something is onside or offside just yet. The NHL hasn't implemented it. If they did, like if they had a tennis style format, then who cares? Let the technology determine instantly whether everything goes onside or offside. Who cares what the technology says? But when we're doing it, still eyeballing it, but with video replay for minutes at a time in an arena, sometimes on an iPad, sometimes with the Situation Room who are looking at all their TV monitors. When we're just doing it that way, that to me doesn't feel like the spirit of why we're doing it. It should be for things that are clearly offsides when you can see it through one or two replays. We look at it back. Somebody challenges it. We look at it back. We say, oh, yeah, that was offside. We missed that one. That's why they put it in, for the egregious mistakes. So the first thing I would change is limit the time and the amount of replays that referees have. If somebody says, hey, we want to challenge this Nick Suzuki goal, it looked like it was offside, the refs get to go over to the penalty box area. They pull up the iPad. They look at it 2 times in real time, too. You slow it down. Give them half speed. I'll even concede half speed, but nothing more than that. No pixels. And if you can't see it there, then it's onside. Then it is onside, because the hockey is a fluid game. It is not a stationary game where things are where the game in between the goal line and the other goal line, because the goal line itself is not fluid. Like that's hard and fast and dry. If the puck crosses the line, it's a goal. If it's not, But I look at things like offsides and reaching the red line for an icing where the refs say, hey, if your stick clears the red line kind of on your follow through and you're setting the puck down the other end for an icing, like, we won't call it an icing. Like, as long as you get to the line kind of with your follow through, you're good. Hockey's so fluid in that sense with other rules and the way refs pick and choose what to call depending on the situation of the game, where it's like, if this is a playoff game, we're going to call this cross-check. But if this is a regular season game, game 26, we won't call this cross-check. Even that little stuff, I'm like, hockey's so fluid and game managed that it doesn't fit the ethos of the sport to let things come down to pixels when you should just look at it real time. And we use technology to fix replays that are egregious and we need to take back because we can't have that. So that's the first two things I'm implementing. But like ultimately, ideally, we would just have technology solve this. We would come up with the technology or just implement it because I assume it already exists, where you have the puck tracking in every player, from their skates to their head, and you have your animations. I don't know how the technology works, and you also have the puck tracking in their sticks and all that fun stuff, and you have it with the puck as well. And if that's not available to be put into place in the NHL at any point ever, then don't do it by the pixels of the camera. So that's where I'm landing on this offside review thing, because I in a big game like this, that's one of the biggest things I haven't touched on here, is that Islanders, Canadiens tonight, huge game, huge playoff implications. The game ended up being a 1-goal game. The Islanders won the game in overtime, 4-3. Montreal got a point. The Islanders got 2 points. So they pull a little closer to the Canadiens, who currently hold the second wildcard spot. And then with that victory in overtime, the Islanders now sit 2 points back of the Canadiens with the same amount of games played. So that one goal by Nick Suzuki at this point in the season means even more. I know, like, every goal in every game means a lot, but you know, when we get a little down to it, the games mean more. And this game in particular, because both teams are right there in the standings, separated by 2 points at the end of tonight, that goal meant a lot. Who knows how the game goes from there after that, if that goal had counted and the Canadiens end up winning or they end up losing in a different way, who knows? But that goal matters a whole bunch. And to me, that we're still relying on this way to do replays is, I don't think, the correct way. And there's kind of hope in the distant near future, because the NHL is currently going through CBA negotiations. They're set to begin in the next, I think, like 30 days. Bettman said that he'll gather with the Players Association and they'll begin drafting a new CBA. And I wonder if in the new CBA, we see challenges and reviews tweaked a little bit. If we see that the NHL has the technology now to change things like goal line calls. And for me, personally, I would take away the ability to challenge things. Why are we making it a little game with the head coaches and the video review staff where they have to challenge things, and if they don't get it right, then it's a penalty, and if they do get it right, then the goal's off the board? Is the idea not to get the call correct? Is that not why we're doing this whole thing? So why not, when we have these close calls, have a ref in the press box, have him in the official off-ice officials room, that's a thing that exists, watching the game, or even do it with the situation room back in Toronto. And when we have controversial calls, they call in and they say, hey, give us a second. We're going to review this. So 1 second. Don't drop the puck again after that goal. Yeah, that was offside. Take it back. Boom. We don't need to play a little game. We don't need to play a little game with the video review staff where they're like, hey, come here. We are going to challenge this. The ref goes, plays 2 minutes. No, you didn't get that right. You get a penalty. The idea is to get the calls right, take it away from the coaches, and just get the calls right. This offsides, if they saw it was offsides in the off-ice official room, because that's their new job, or if they saw it in the situation room, just buzz them and tell them to fix it. There's no need for challenges. So I think in the next CBA, if it was up to me, if I was commissioner of the National Hockey League, which I never will be, and I don't want that job and responsibility, I would remove challenges and just like have an official watch the game and fix things instantly. Have a earpiece in the ref's ear, because they do anyways, and just tell them to fix it. Use technology. The idea is to get it right, so get it right. That's everything I want to say about this darn goal for the Canadiens got taken back tonight. I think it should have been a goal, but the way the rules are right now, it is not a goal, so they made the right call. And shout out to the Canadiens and Islanders, who are both not going down without a fight. They're both fighting for the second wildcard spot. It is going to be such a fun battle these last 15-ish games for all the teams in the standings as we get to the postseason, see who comes out on top there. We got two teams who are playing fun hockey right now, battling for this postseason spot, so we'll see how that plays out. What an end to the regular season we got this year. That is it for me tonight. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be listening or watching right now, and I appreciate you for that. Hit like if you're watching this on the Jesse Blake Sports Report YouTube channel. Hit subscribe if you are not subscribed. You can also listen to this on your favorite podcast app. That is it. Good night from Toronto.
And that is how it's done.
The Jesse Blake Sports Report with Jesse Blake.
Jesse Blake, the guy that likes to hear his name twice in one sentence. Sure, I know him. No, he doesn't have an ego at all.